Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Right now on the news at 10, another day in the 90s, making it a 7-day heat wave. Tomorrow will be day 8. It will feel like 100 again before storms break the heat wave. We'll time it all out ahead.
A wave of carjackings and thefts in several communities in Connecticut. We'll have the latest on the cases and why one expert says these car crimes might be happening.
Also, voters will head to the polls across Connecticut tomorrow for the state's primary. We'll get you caught up on what you need to know before casting your ballot.
And breaking news tonight as former President Donald Trump says the FBI conducted a search of his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. We'll explain what we know so far. But we start things off here at 10, tracking what appears to be the end of the heat wave coming tomorrow. Not soon enough. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Yeah, today was the 7th day. I don't know if you're counting. 7th day in a row with high temperatures at or above 90 degrees in the Hartford area. But many parts of the state saw a few storms. Taking a look at some video here. This is rain in Portland in the afternoon. We are in the stretch of that statewide heat wave stretching on now for a week. Still quite humid out there tonight. But how long will this all last?
Meteorologist Ryan Breton tracking conditions for us tomorrow. We want to check in with him for a first check of the forecast. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ben and Sarah. Good to be with you. Good evening, everybody. Tomorrow will be the last day of this heat wave, day number 8. A heat advisory still in effect tonight, and this goes through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And during the peak of the heat tomorrow, it will feel like it's above 100. Our southern counties are under an air quality alert tomorrow. The air will be uncomfortable and unhealthy for those who are sensitive to, especially the ground level ozone, which becomes a problem on these high heat and high humidity days. Tonight, we have one more round of showers moving into the state from the west. These are tending to weaken a little bit, but a few downpours to the northwest of Hartford over northern Hartford County and to parts of Litchfield County as well. It's 82 still at this hour in Hartford and Windsor Locks. New Haven still there as well. 70s from Chester to Norwich. But the real story tonight is just how humid it is. Dew points are in the 70s, and the actual air temperature can't drop below the dew points. So that means it is a very warm and humid night. Most of the night will be spent in the 80s, and then the temperatures rise very quickly tomorrow before those storms approach, which will be mid to late afternoon. The bulk of the action probably coming in between 3 and 6 o'clock, and some of these storms will be severe. We'll take a closer look at the timeline and the relief that follows these storms, all coming up.
Thank you, Ryan. And scan the QR code there on your screen with your smartphone or go to the app in your app store to download the free Fox 61 News app. You can find the latest forecast there, get weather alerts and other resources available during this heat wave. And new at 10, police along a section of the shoreline are investigating several carjackings and thefts.
It includes one when a man was pistol whipped and where 2 dogs were stolen along with cars. Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live outside the Milford Police Department tonight to tell us about the cases and why they think they might be happening. Gabby.
Well, Ben, Sarah, according to police, these incidents don't appear to be connected, but they do all have something in common. They all happened very quickly. That's why people are warned to always be aware of your surroundings. A busy few days for police in New Haven County. Several cars stolen and items stolen from cars. Friday morning in Orange, a 70-year-old was threatened with a gun while pumping gas, punched and pistol whipped before 2 suspects took off with the victim's car.
Poor guy's getting gas. Like, how, that's sad. That's very sad. And there's no repercussion for it, you know? And who would expect to get pistol whipped while you're pumping gas?
A few hours later, a separate incident in nearby towns. 4 teens were arrested for stealing a car from North Haven, then heading into Milford in that stolen car, where they're accused of stealing from people's cars in at least 3 different parking lots. And twice in a span of 4 days, cars were stolen with dogs inside of them. On Thursday, out of the DeBellis Subs parking lot in Milford, and on Sunday, out of the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot in East Haven. Fortunately, the dogs were all recovered.
It can be just a couple of people acting as a crew, stealing a number of cars that increases the number. So it's not necessarily a lot of people involved with this. It may be a few people that are utilizing this technique.
Kenneth Gray, a criminal justice professor at the University of New Haven, says these are often crimes of opportunity and can happen very quickly.
Especially if it's something along the I-95, I-91 corridor, People can hop off the highway, grab a car, get back on the highway, and be gone in just a matter of minutes.
People in the area say they're aware of incidents like these happening and have changed their habits because of it.
Pull in, take the keys out of the car, get gas. At stores, we don't leave the cars running, and everything gets locked up.
That's exactly what experts encourage you to do. Stay aware and never fight back.
Protecting your car, trying to stop the person, it's not worth your life to save your car. So it's better in that case, throw the keys one direction and you run in the other direction, and then be a good witness.
And police are still looking for the suspects in that armed carjacking in Orange, as well as whoever is responsible for stealing the car with the dog inside in Milford. Live in Milford, Gabby Molina, Fox 61 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Moving on to other news tonight. In just about less than 8 hours, the polls will open across our state for this year's primary election.
Cities and towns across the state have been preparing for weeks, from getting polling sites set up to making sure they have enough ballots for tomorrow. Fox 61's Tony Black joins us live in Guilford tonight. We're told there's still a lot of work to be done, Tony.
Yeah, Ben and Sarah, a lot of work to be done ahead of Election Day tomorrow. Melissa Jones Elementary School here in Guilford is one of 5 polling sites open in the town for primary day tomorrow. As you can see, construction still happening in front of the school, but they say that this is just one hurdle they've had to overcome, and they will be ready for voters come Tuesday.
We know it will be humid and hot.
Tuesday is primary day in Connecticut, and the town of Guilford Registrar of Voters has been getting ready for nearly 2 months. Lisa Copps is the Democratic registrar, and Gloria Nemchuk is the Republican one for the town.
A couple of our polls had some construction issues that we were concerned with.
One of the 5 town polling sites is Melissa Jones Elementary, where the road is still under construction, but they say this won't cause much of an impact. What might is the weather. The ballots can be disrupted if they get wet from humidity. If this happens, they'll have to be hand counted. And one of their sites lost its air conditioning, so they brought in fans and other AC units to keep workers and those ballots safe.
If they get a little damp, it might have a problem going through the tabulators.
The town has also had to make sure they have enough ballots in an election that typically doesn't see great voter turnout.
We're expecting that to be the case this time as well. But we prepare for more.
Out of the 16,000 voters in Guilford, 9,000 are eligible to vote in this election. It's only for registered Republicans and Democrats.
The Secretary of State's office types the ballot, so we have to be careful that the wording is right, all the names are spelled right.
Scott Bates with the Secretary of the State says poll workers are tried and tested and ready to go on Election Day.
In the last primary 2 years ago, remember, we had a tropical storm, power outages, and a pandemic.
COVID-19 is still impacting this election. 2 poll workers called Monday morning with COVID.
Thankfully, it's a primary, and so only, a quarter of the people will vote.
Poll workers cannot answer questions about candidates, so the registrars say people should do their research beforehand. They can take questions on how to fill out and cast a ballot.
We think we're in good shape at this point. It was a little bit of a crazy day, but we're in pretty good shape.
The Secretary of the State's office tells us that their reporting systems are also up and ready for primary day tomorrow. And the final message to voters from both those Republicans and Democrats you just heard is if you can come out and vote at poll sites like this tomorrow, go and do it. Live in Guilford, Tony Black, Fox 61 News.
Thank you, Tony. And remember, you can expect more from Fox 61 on Connecticut's primary day. Our team has you covered from when the polls open to when they close. Join us tomorrow afternoon for the Fox 61 News at 4 and 5. Then stay with us at 6 for a Fox 61 special, Connecticut Primary, Your Vote. Then join us at 8 p.m. for live streaming coverage as the polls close in Connecticut, only on Fox 61 Plus.